welcome to this platform. I'm hoping to have a very insightful and stimulating talk with you this evening. And we're just going to unpack um, your fitness journey and also your projects that you do on the side and any other women's issues which you feel like, they really need to be highlighted. I chose you and I asked you to join me on this platform because I was going through your profile. And this year I
Yeah.
decided to change it up, do something different, and actually highlight people who are already part of the Run Revolution community, already following this platform, instead
Yes.
of going to source other people from outside. So I just wanted to choose a few women within the community who I saw are really active even during COVID times. And I saw your profile, you're running on the promenade and then you're cycling, you're also
Mm.
strength training, like you're very busy during this lockdown, and that's why I wanted to pick your brain on, how do you stay consistent? Because I think
Yeah.
I've gained back all the weight that I've lost so far. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so Mbali, to everybody that's watching, Mbali is from Durban and she's just, a fit fanatic and I love it. And the other day, I think we were discussing avocados because I bought avocados and believe it or not, believe it or not, they're still hard. And I was just telling my
Yeah.
mother now that they're plastic avocados.
Oh,
And I
wow.
think we bought them like 2 weeks ago, so I don't trust them anymore. But I think I've, you know, p- painted a very basic picture of who Mbali is. I think I've drawn the outline, so I'd like you to just fill in where I missed. Who is Mbali to the crux, to the core?
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Yes, thank you for also giving me this opportunity. My name is Mbali Mthethwa, and I am born and raised in Durban. So I am from Wybank, which is a little suburb within Pinetown. I'm 29 years old. And yeah, I'd like to think of myself as someone that is outgoing, very adventurous, as you said, keeping fit during these COVID times. And that's one thing that I've also done, taken advantage of, the opportunity, worst case scenario when we had COVID. So I also then, gave off my best, started working out and focusing on my fitness goals. And by profession, I work as a tax agent. Um, yeah, I think roughly that is just who I am. I'm out there, outgoing, bubbly. I love to laugh a lot, to go out a lot. So yeah, basically
Okay,
that's
three things came to mind while you were describing yourself.
yeah.
One, you said you were born and raised in Cape Town. No, sorry, in Durban.
Durban,
So
KZN.
I'd like to know how many times in your life have you encountered a snake in the house or just outside in person?
No, no, it's very few. I think, yeah, less than 10. Yeah. And never actually. Never seen us. No.
Because I watch a show, right, that plays on
Yeah.
DSTV, and like it seems like there's snakes everywhere in KZN. Like there's snakes. You
Mm.
wake up and you find a snake, and it's not house snakes. It's like dangerous, dangerous snakes. So after
Yes.
watching that show, I was thinking like, I don't know if I could live in Durban because there's always the opportunity of finding a snake in my yard. And I think snakes are those like one things that unify us in that whatever race you are, people are scared of snakes.
We all afraid of snakes, right? Yeah, that's true.
Yep, yep, yep. You also mentioned that you're chasing your fitness goal. So, for this year, should I say, what have you mapped out for yourself?
Okay. Basically, my strategy for this year has just been, to cover as many sporting activities as I can. So, as you said, I'm into hiking, which I am and I love very much, running and cycling. So, I recently challenged myself to start cycling, and yeah, I'm doing a lot of that. So that's how I'm taking this year, to cover many aspects of fitness, not just running only or cardio only, like hiking, but just to cover other aspects of fitness and keeping busy and being active. So yeah.
I think in 2021, like, you know, when lockdown started, I actually
Yeah.
had a yoga mat. So I was practicing yoga. And then when they lifted the initial hard ban, I went to the store and I was looking for a yoga mat and there were no mats at all. So when
Yeah.
I found, the mat, I was very happy. And I actually like just started buying mats throughout the year because I think lockdown has made me realize that we cannot be running only. We have to run and do something else
True.
because running takes a lot out
Exactly.
of your body, right? And if you're having a bad
Yes.
run, then that's going to make you feel like you don't want to run anymore. So, you know, when you're doing that
Yeah.
other activity, which I guess for you is cycling, you feel like I'm doing
Yes.
something different. But what I've also noticed is that a lot of
Yeah.
people, and I would like to specifically say women that I follow, I've seen have taken up cycling.
Yes.
Um, During this lockdown period, and like it's become a thing. Actually, one of them, Mamela, is now like an ambassador for a cycling brand. So what is it about cycling that you guys enjoy so much? I haven't cycled because I don't know how to ride a bike.
True. Okay. Well, for me, I'm the first to cycle in my family, and it kind of just encouraged me to start cycling because I'd also run on the beach on the promenade, and then I'd see, these cyclists just flying through me, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm so tired," So part of it had to do with just wanting to work out efficiently and burn out more and probably get to the finish line, like to get done with the exercise itself. So I find cycling
Mm,
very fun and efficient. And what can I say? Like you work out more while, like, you don't really um, get really tired. It is tiring, but it's just a fun sport to do. And there aren't many women that are also into cycling. So that was also one of the things that encouraged me to go out there and to challenge myself. And not only that, I'm actually doing mountain bike cycling, which is in the bush. So it actually accommodates my interest in hiking as well as
mm.
cycling as well. So I got to do that. And yeah, it's quite hectic. It's very hectic.
I have a question in mind, but I think I'll ask it a little bit later.
Yeah.
I'd like to know, so you mentioned that you're the first in your family to start cycle. What has your fitness journey been like since like primary school up until now?
That's a good one. Okay. Basically in primary, I did play sports, but mainly in high school, I played various sports, netball, tried on touch rugby a bit, and hockey, but I've just always been soccer and netball kind of girl. And then varsity, not so much. But as I grew up, I just obviously you have body goals for yourself, and then that's when you see that, okay, I need to have a flat stomach, even though it's hard, I need to work out. So for me specifically, the turnaround when my fitness journey started was, I'd say, the beginning of lockdown as well. I think lockdown was a bit of a wake up call for everyone, to pick up themselves and to keep busy. I mean, that was the only time when we could actually keep sane and, get to do something and not just be stuck at home and eat. So I
Mm,
also started last year, well, 2020. Yeah, in the beginning of 2020, as soon as lockdown started, I challenged myself and I fell in love with seeing myself grow as a person and seeing what my body could do, like when I push myself. So, yeah, it was a bit funny when I started because it's that moment where you don't even believe in yourself. Like, am I really doing this? Um, and you'd probably fall or get hurt or whatever, and you'd still pick yourself up. But just being committed to something, that was the idea behind it for me. Like, if it's home workouts, because that's what I focused a lot on, just doing a lot of home workouts, and then from there I stretched it out to other activities like cycling and hiking, etc. So yeah.
um, I think there was a comment here. Let me just scroll.
uh,
From W underscore Sokela. She said,
that's with
cycling is mad fun. And she also said cycling is fun. You don't feel how much you're doing. You're
Yes,
right. So do
definitely.
you feel like cycling takes less out of you than running?
Yeah, yes, it does. Running is quite hectic. I mean, you need to have the mental stability for it. And then with cycling, you'll probably see like a really chubby person that's on the bike and they've been going at it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, but they've got that strength probably in their legs or like they're really good. So for me, I prefer cycling now than running, actually. So it does take a lot less energy.
Are you gonna feel the same way when the races are open again?
With running or cycling?
No, with running.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be back with running, yes, and I'll see how that goes. Well, yeah, I'm in between at the moment.
I think people who like used to run and then they get on the bike, they like lean more towards the cycling part.
Yes,
So
that's true.
I wonder if it will be the same for me when I finally learn how to ride a bike. Because
You
also
will,
cycling is an expensive sport, right?
definitely. That was my biggest wake-up call when I started. Like, yo, hey, boy, this is so expensive. But yeah, I mean, you budget for these things, eh?
Yeah, because like these bikes, some of them can cost as much as a car or even more.
Yes, definitely.
Mm,
Definitely.
mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm. So I think we've captured like your love for moving and activity. How do you balance it all? Because you said you are a tax agent, so I guess you have a 9 to 5 job, and you've got your
Yeah.
other side hustle, which you're gonna talk about.
Side hustle, yeah. How do I find the balance? Basically, it's not
Yes,
easy. Definitely not easy, but you just need to plan, strategize and plan. So, for instance, one, you need to consider that, you can work out maybe for 3 days, but you also need to rest. So, in as much as you're working out and you're chasing your fitness goals, rather have a strategy in place. So it's okay. This week I'm focusing on this sport, perhaps, or this fitness exercise. Focus on that, and then give yourself breaks in between. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense.
it does.
Does that answer your question?
It does answer my question. We have a comment from
Yeah,
Usme
bro. So
Magubane.
yeah,
She
just
says
give
cycling looks
yourself
so.
breaks and plan ahead. It's okay. It's a new week. Sorry.
No, finish your comment first, and then I'll tell you.
Oh, okay. So I was just saying, give yourself enough time, to plan for the upcoming week. That, okay, this week I'm focusing on 3 days of running. If you are sticking to one sport, it's fine. But tell yourself, it's okay. What's my goal? How many kilometers do you want to cover for that week? And how many days are you prepared to run? So for me, finding the balance is using the time that I have in between. Probably, after work, I'd run. Same way that you'd go to the gym, I'd go
Mm,
and, go for a run or go for a cycle. Weekends, I know already what am I doing for the weekend to keep fit. If it's hiking, if it's cycling, but plan ahead so that you don't feel that stress with work and also juggling your fitness life. And then also for myself, fitness is actually a coping mechanism. I come from a background, like my working environment is very stressful. So keeping fit actually helps me out a lot, and exercising helps me out a lot. So it's that thing of, even though you are extremely stressed, but find a way in which you can balance and do the things that you like. So whatever exercise it might be, try find something that you like, and then in between that time, you know, um, use it, exercise, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was saying, Usne Magubane says cycling looks so expensive. The idea of it, iyasabisa.
She's absolutely right. It's very expensive. Hey, I was looking actually for new gloves for cycling, and a pair of gloves is about 250. I know it might sound funny, but that's the minimum, 250, which means they can go up to like, I don't know, 500, 700 just for gloves.
Yeah, I'm sure
So yeah.
those 250 ones, you can't operate your phone when you have them on. You have to take your glove off, you know?
Yeah, well, they are fine as well, but I mean, yeah, you just have to one step at a time. Guys, let's
Yeah,
not
because
be
it's
afraid
the
of heights.
gloves,
Yeah,
and then it's the cleats, and then it's the
the key,
bike, and then it's the
the
bike
helmet.
rack, and then it's the
Mm,
bib, meh? And then it's the full suit and the helmet, and yeah,
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 it's a lot, guys. But yeah, I mean,
it is.
if you love the sports, I mean, you'll definitely, go for it. Even with running, every single sport is expensive, guys. Any activity.
Mm,
You just have to dedicate yourself and your time and the money.
yeah, that's true. That's true. So now I'd like to know more about your platform, Women Empowerment. Am I saying it right? Women Empowerment Network, I think.
Women empowerment projects.
Yes.
Projects.
So
Yeah.
yes, tell us a little bit more about your platform that you've created to empower women.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's the exciting part for me because, as I said, it's something that's really close to my heart. And I started off this project. I just call it projects because it's a series of initiatives that we take or we embark on that empower women, where we create a platform to actually motivate other women to reach out for their goals, be it professionally, be it in their own personal lives, in any walk of life. So it doesn't matter which age group you're in, but it's really a platform. It's like a family sisterhood relationship, where we all help each other. So the idea behind it was, if you've got a business, share it on this platform. If you want, some counseling or some mentorship, this is the platform. So my job is just to coordinate an event and bring women together, but in doing so, allowing each other to shine, and helping each other to excel in any space, be it in the working environment. We know that a lot of women, want to grow, and they want to start businesses, and they want to be out there, but some of them actually don't know, so how do I do this, how do I do that? And women empowerment projects helps young women, because I'd say, as little, like, you could be in high school and you could have these awesome ideas, but if you don't have a mentor, someone that is in, like, someone that can guide you on such things, then it becomes a problem, right? But if there is someone that is there to assist even younger kids and groom them up, then it's an amazing opportunity to help one another. So yeah, that's women empowerment.
I think
Yeah.
you've given us like a nice overview of women empowerment projects and what you guys do. I just
Yes.
have a question around, I could say the basics. Like if I am watching this and I feel like this is a space or a platform that I would like to benefit from, or I think I can add value to it, how do I go about it? What initiatives are you guys most active in doing, if I'm making sense?
Okay, I think your question does make sense. So I started women empowerment projects in 2018, and from there I would host events. And in this event, we would have a guest speaker. So if we are actually focusing on careers, I would invite a guest speaker that will speak on that topic as a whole. So that person will be clued up as to what type of careers, you know, are beneficial and so forth. So if one wants to participate or take part of women empowerment project, then they would need to contact me as the founder, or they can follow us on our Instagram page as well. And then from there, we can have talks around what is it that you want for yourself. Because I said we've got mentorship as well. So my job is just to coordinate the event and empower other women as well, like whatever career aspects that you wish to develop yourself in. Then with the right people that are involved, I will then give that information out to other women to say, this is what, these are the spaces that you can tap in if you want to start a business, etc., etc. So mainly it would be for them to contact me, and then from there we will take it further.
I absolutely love it. And I guess this is something you would want to do as like a full-time job, right?
One day, when I'm rich
I
enough.
think that's the aim, right? That's the
Yes,
aim.
that's
And
the aim,
so
when I'm rich.
let's just talk about some of the challenges that you face. So I see the bigger picture that you want to go to, but I'm sure you've experienced some hardships coming along to the point where you are right now. What have been some of your biggest obstacles in setting this platform up, in running it, in growing this platform?
Yeah, that's a good question. I did actually experience a lot of challenges. You know, as a young woman starting out a project of this nature wasn't easy. I needed capital, I needed support, I needed what else? Resources. There's so many things that you need, you know, just to
Yes.
get the project running. And most importantly, you also need to believe in yourself. So, amongst a lot of challenges for me was the like not having an office space, for instance, and having to book a community hall or a venue, having to do all the admin was a bit of a challenge, you know, and it's still a challenge because that's where we come together as sisters, you know, where we then say, okay, I need extra hands to help me, maybe with the finance side of it. I need extra help because I see this project as a non-profit organization. It's
Mm,
not a business where I am making profit out of it, but all the proceeds that I do actually receive from these projects goes back to the actual event, the venue hire, the deco, the snacks, etc. So those were some of the challenges where if finance is an issue, I would then take out of my pocket and, you know, help out because it is my baby at the end of the day. And then
yes.
also, um, you know, with the venue, the guest list, it's a lot. You know, I think anything amongst being a woman is that we are very fussy when it comes to the things that are important to us. So a woman will care about the smallest detail and say, but this is not right, this is not right, you know. So yeah, it's just those things yeah, that have been some of the challenges. I'm just, yeah, I've got
And
a lot on my mind at this point.
I think social media has made projects like yours accessible to girls who are all over right, irrespective of the geographic location, they will have access to you. But is there a specific demographic of girls that you are targeting? Is it limited for people who are in Durban? So I could say your target market, who is your target market?
It's all women, everyone, young, old. If you just really there, you know, to be part of this project, it's for you. So there's no specific criteria to say, you know, these are the type of women that we are looking for, because at the end of the day, it's a sisterhood, it's a platform for all women in all age groups to come together and to assist and to grow from this projects. So if we are doing charity work, that's where, you know, we come in. If we want to do a mentorship program, that's where, you know, the younger girls also come in. So it's diverse, it's for everyone, basically.
I think in the past, you know, growing up, there have been initiatives like Take a Girl Child to
Yes,
work. And then there's also been campaigns around letting girls have access to pads and free pads. You know, you get people who
yes,
campaign and say, if you're shopping and you know to your toiletries, just add pads and drop two in a specific box. So from initiatives like that, I think there's a lot of initiatives to empower girls and women, but it's just that they don't get as much marketing, or rather, I think they're not advertised as much. Are there specific campaigns which you feel resonate with your platform?
Um, yeah, definitely. There are lots of opportunities out there for us. And what I've also seen is that there are a lot of upcoming women projects that are coming up, meaning that women have created this space, you know, and we are trying out there to help as many like women as we can, be it emotionally, be it financially, you know, we are there. So there are many projects that the government has available at hand for us. You know, there's also funding that's also available, but one actually needs to apply for that funding, you know. Not only that, but one needs to specifically dedicate themselves to such projects. Then you know, everything falls into its place, because um, I find that there are a lot of us that are doing the same thing, and I'm not saying it in a bad way, but we amongst ourselves, we also need to work together, you know, to create the awareness,
Mm,
and also not just that, but to motivate and help one another, because the idea is the same. Let's uplift women. Let us help women, you know, who are suffering from gender based violence, who are, you know, struggling, whatever that it is, actually. So if we actually work together, you know, a lot could be done, and it will make a bigger impact. So, yeah.
mm, 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 mm. And where do you see your platform in the future, and how do we support you get there?
All right, so that's thank you for that question. I would say I see my platform going nationally, you know. When I started this project, there were only 6 ladies in the beginning. 6. So I started off at Botanical Gardens in Durban,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I shared the vision and it grew. From there we went to 50. From there the numbers grew. Okay. So I do see this project actually expanding to a national level, and it is possible, you know, provided that, you know, I do actually get financial assistance, you know, and not even financial assistance per se, but to have other people come on board. I honestly believe that it can never be a one man's show, but if the
Mm,
vision is shared, like if I say this is the vision of Women Empowerment Project, if there is anyone out there that wants to help out, that wants to be an ambassador, because that was also one of the ideas that I had, that I should actually have mentors, people that could represent women empowerment projects within their communities. So if you are from Pietermaritzburg, for instance, we could then have a project in Pietermaritzburg and combine all these projects, Durban, Pietermaritzburg, Cape Town, and expand it through that way. So it is something that is possible if, you know, the support is there. So support, financial assistance, awareness. So just, I think, letting it known, like preaching, you know, advertising, those sort of things, and also for platforms like yourself. Because with this opportunity, you know, you may never know who's actually listening out there and who actually can help out. So yeah, just supporting each other.
Mm-mm. Sure, this is, I just thought of this question now. It might be a spanner in the works, you know, but
Okay.
I think growing up as a girl, right, there are a lot of societal norms that are instilled in you. And I think right now in 2021, as we grow older, people are actually calling them out, you know. Um, so for you, what do you think are like one of those societal norms which you would like to see go away, which you feel that shouldn't be instilled in girls?
Ooh. That it shouldn't be what? Sorry.
I'm saying, you know, like there are certain things that are instilled in girls, like you need to have a husband to be validated, or you need to be a certain weight, you know, those type of things that society imposes on women. So for you, I think what is the biggest one which you feel like it actually needs to change?
Okay. Being programmed, I'll say programmed, to think that marriage is everything. So, you know, growing up as a young lady, you probably told one day you're gonna get married, and you're gonna have to do this and do that and do this. So, you know, growing up as a woman, you get to discover that first I need to establish who I am, and then also achieve your, like, chase after your goals, chase after your dreams, whatever that you want. And yes, if marriage does come into play, it shouldn't change who you are, because there's this perception that once you're married, then this is the type of, like, you've, it's an achievement. And I'm not saying it to, like, in a bad way for those who are married, but don't let it be your primary goal that I want to get married, you know. And if I don't get married, then it's it for me. I'm not woman enough, you know. So I don't know if that answers your question,
It
but
does,
yeah.
it does, it does. It's actually the first time I asked that question, and phew, it's a very to the next guest, I'll probably ask the same question as well. But before I next one, Alwetu underscore TK says, we as Joe and Claire Creations, also in the same space, we would like to partner with your women empowerment projects.
Oh, that's great.
So I think, I guess you got one partner from this live, and then W is just telling us says
Yay!
marriage material. She says
Yeah.
marriage material is not a thing.
Yes, definitely. That's my point. Just having this idea, like everything revolves around marriage as a woman, and it doesn't, it shouldn't, because you are an individual, you know? So chase after your dreams, go for what you want. Don't be defined
I was
by such things.
no, go on. Yeah. So
No, don't be defined by society. Mm.
I was watching a YouTuber a couple of weeks ago who's from Nigeria, but now she's living in Durban, and she was contrasting the differences in cultures. And she says one of her biggest culture shocks was when she got to South Africa. She saw she saw so many people that were not married, and she was so shocked. She was like, so many people have children and they're not married. Like it's not a thing. And she was like, she says it's one of the biggest things she had to adapt to, because from where she comes from, like marriage is like top tier, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's another
So,
struggle. Fine.
hmm hmm My next question is, so Beyonce has a song and she says, "If I were a boy," and then she lists all the things that she would do. And the song was a
Yeah,
banger, right? So if one
yeah.
day you woke up and you're in a man's body, like what would you do for that day?
You know, well, first thing comes to mind, you probably like do all the wrong things. But I would say I'd probably still be myself. I know that sounds a bit awkward, but I don't believe that, one should change. Like, we shouldn't say guys behave in a certain way and then girls also behave in a certain way. Because the moment you think, if I were a boy, now I just have to be reckless and, fool around, which is not true. There are some guys, that are proper and they are grounded. So I would still be myself. I'd still do the things that I'd like. I'd have fun. I'd be myself. I wouldn't change who I am, irrespective of whether I am a boy or a girl.
Um, so you're quite active. Are there any activities where you feel like to be safe, you need to have a male presence around you?
Running. Running in the hood. And unfortunately, that's the sad reality, that sometimes you don't feel safe as a woman, to be running on your own, either
Mm.
in the afternoon or in the early hours of the morning. So that's when I feel the need that if I do go for a run, I definitely need to have a jogging partner. And okay, I would prefer it to be a guy, for safety reasons. As you know, yeah, our country isn't that safe, unfortunately.
Maybe I'm speaking from a point of male privilege, but I think, for me, running in the hood is one of my safer experiences. Maybe it's because there's like a lot of activity around like the hood. There's a lot happening. Whereas, when I'm running in the suburbs and I'm the only one in the street, I also don't feel safe because literally
Really?
it's just cars and cars and cars. No, I think I prefer running where there is a lot of activity because I think for me that means there's a less chance of something happening. I don't know, I could be wrong,
Mm,
but that's just my personal experience. But from these conversations, even last year, I think the biggest concern is running as a woman alone is not safe.
yeah,
And if you're going to run alone, then the other day actually I ran past a woman and she was running alone, and I was just thinking, oh my word, she's so brave. Like we
yeah.
haven't had incidents of anything happening
Excuse
to
me.
women in our area, but I was just thinking to myself, wow, she's so, so brave for going out alone.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Hmm.
It is a bit of a concern, hey? Yeah, it
Hmm.
is a bit of a challenge because there's also harassment, as you're running. So yeah, I think with your answer, being a male, you might feel safer, but for us, definitely, it's quite scary to run alone. Um, Preferably, running in open areas like the promenade, is a bit safer, and you aren't as worried, about your safety when you are running. So yeah.
Ako, hey, Madebeza, hello,
I
nice.
will. I do not know that person. Hello.
Catcalled.
Yeah, ne?
I mean, I've been catcalled before and made me feel hella uncomfortable, and I was wearing earphones. So
Yeah,
I could block it off, but I can just imagine how much worse it is for women because I think it's amplified.
exactly. No, it's a lot. And I think it's just always best to run with your headsets, even for your own mental wellness or your mental health,
Mm,
because as I said, it depends on which area you're from, because there is a difference between running, in a suburban area and running in the hood. There's a huge
mm.
difference. Yeah.
And
So
Ustabile Mieni, Also says that my brother comments, they just, they turn her off.
It's actually
They
the
put her
worst
off.
feeling ever, you know. And yeah, it's society, unfortunately. One just needs to really, you know, hang in there, be strong, because it is a lot to take in as a woman, you know.
But it's nothing that the woman is doing. It's culture that it's like toxic culture that instilled into the men that you have
Yes.
access to another woman's body.
Unfortunately, yes, it's that toxic culture.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, last, oh, this is not a question, but from me to you, a message. I'd like you to give a message to the women of South Africa for Women's Month.
Okay, I just saw a long comment as well. Okay, so my message to all the women in South Africa, I would say, you know, don't change who you are. Be yourself. And in saying that, I just mean that, you know, we as women sometimes, because we've got that caring nature within us, we've got that nature to love, we tend to actually forget about ourselves, you know, whilst we are loving. So my message would be, don't change yourself, but actually see yourself grow, look at your shortcomings and learn from that, learn from your mistakes. And most importantly, like to love yourself, you know, love the person that you are, because, you know, you're going to look back one day and say, oh, okay, this is how I was. And you don't want to look back and be
Mm,
miserable, but you want to look back and be happy at the time that you've invested in yourself. So
mm,
put in energy to work towards your goals, work towards your vision. What is it that you want to become? What is it that you want to do that more, right? Do the things that you know, empower you to become better. So that would be my advice. Just be you, do you, but more importantly, don't forget yourself. Yeah, basically that. So
I
yeah.
love that message. And now I'm gonna read that long comment. So Joy says,
Woo!
and her episode is coming out soon. There's so many things to worry about. Even promenade is full of walkers and runners, and it's risky where COVID is concerned. We are really living during the trying times.
Yeah, no, she is right to a certain extent, you know. It also depends on the times that you actually run. But yes, it's also not safe. I think when we look at the bigger picture, you know, I think it's very scary for us to look at the reality of, you know, our country isn't safe. But in as much as it's not safe, we then also need to, you know, take the necessary precautions. So, in as much as you want to keep fit and you want to run and be active, but, you know, try to choose times, running times that are, you know, within that time frame, you know, that's a bit not too late, not too early, you know. So try work around that. Maybe that might help.
And never run alone and carry pepper spray and always alert people when
Really?
you're going out.
True, true.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And the other one, you know,
I
a
think
friend of mine actually told me about this. I'm sorry to cut you off. Is that when you
mm,
run, rather don't put the location, you know, when you actually like send your run at the end, it gives you an option to select a map, like the route. Rather don't choose that
yes,
option of
yes.
the route, but rather, you know, take a picture of some random thing, or put
Mm,
your distance and the time, but not your route, because some people could actually look at the same route that you are running, and then you could be a target for
yes.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
So for ladies, keep up
Even
with that.
I think this should apply to everybody. In fact, even for like
It's Women's Month.
Strava,
Jokes.
and all of those apps, because you have a following on like your 90 plus in your Strava, but also when
Yes.
you're sharing your map. So yeah, don't share that map. Take a
So
selfie,
yeah.
take a picture of your running outfit, take a picture of your
Yes.
shoes or the food that you're gonna eat, anything else except your map.
Yes, definitely.
Hmm. And from me, I think we had an amazing conversation. I really enjoyed this conversation. Yeah, I don't think we have any more comments coming through or questions from the people watching or listening. So from my side, I'd like to thank you for joining me tonight. I actually came from running and I immediately came to start this live, so I need to go shower.
Woohoo!
My vitality goal is met for this week, so I'm very happy, even though it's only
Yay!
500, but it's done.
That's
It's
super
done.
awesome.
I won't be paying for this watch this week,
Yeah,
so I'm happy about that.
that's great. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Yeah, but thank you so much for joining me on this live tonight. Hopefully, when I'm in Durban, we can like run together on the promenade. I haven't done promenade running in so long.
Yeah.
Um, I am looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to life after Corona, where we can travel freely and run
You.
without masks.
That's definitely true. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tonight, I really enjoyed learning more about your platform, getting some insights into all the activity that you do. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, happy Women's Month and enjoy the rest of the week. The weekend is close.
Yay!
The weekend is here. The weekend is here.
Yeah. Okay. On my side as well, thank you so, so much for the opportunity that you've given me. I also had an amazing time. I enjoyed the comments, I enjoyed the questions. And thank you for this platform as well, because it's giving opportunities to everybody else like us. So keep up the good work on your side. And then, yeah, we will grow together.
Thank you so much for joining me. It was such a pleasure. And
All right.
yeah,
Thank you.
good night.
Good night. Have an awesome weekend. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.